What is up, my little ponies, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you a video that I worked really hard on for you guys, and it is going to be a timeline and analysis of Princess Celestia. I know that some of you wanted the video about Fluttershy Kin Girls a lot more, but honestly, I think she needed this, especially with a lot of the Celestia hate I be seeing lately. So without, going too much into this, I do want to say that Celestia's origins are very much hard to find within the canon of the show. So I'm going to be compiling all of the information that we have from the books, the comics, the shows, and the movies. Now, while I understand that some of you may not accept the comics as canon, nor the books, we are going to be, because if I didn't, frankly, I would not be able to pull together even half of the timeline I did, and with that, still, I could not actually put together any literal timestamps, so you'll have to forgive that this timeline is more so just from Celestia's beginnings to her currents. And, just with that out of the way, let's get into it. Now, everybody has their own theories and ideas about where Celestia came from. It is pretty well known in the fanon that she has parents. I will not be referencing them, as they are completely fanon and there is no ever any actual evidence to suggest that her fanon parents existed. But I did find a book called My Little Pony: The Journal of the Two Sisters, the official chronicles of Princess Celestia and Luna. There was a tribe, apparently, of Alicorns in the mountains around what would be future Canterlot. Now, it's never actually commented on whether or not there are other alicorns besides the two sisters existing within this so-called tribe. Now, the fact that no other alicorn is ever mentioned nor commented on leads me to believe that this tribe was simply just the two sisters, and while some of us would like to believe that Celestia was a filly who may have looked like this, my art, she just kind of existed. We're just gonna have to exist that Celestia has always existed and has just been kind of aging at an incredibly slow rate. Now, Star Swirl eventually comes upon the two sisters, finding them and realizing that they could empathize with every pony having both the horn of a unicorn, the wings of a Pegasus, and the body of an Earth pony, that they could unify every pony in the newly formed Equestria. And the sisters agreed. Star Swirl brought them back and coronated them and started raising them to be the princesses we know now. As previously mentioned, Star Swirl starts to raise Princess Celestia and her sister, but he does it because he has the ability to time travel. While the full length of his abilities are never exactly explored on, he can go into the future and see things from it, and therefore knows that Celestia and Luna will be pivotal to Equestria's future. So he actually doesn't tell them much about his travels, essentially, but Celestia, being very close to him and being very aware of others' feelings, knows that there is something he is not telling her, and knows that it is about her and Luna and how important they will be to the future, and that, in any case, Celestia should be able to handle anything. Now, despite this, Celestia and Luna actually were still blank flanks. They were also bigger, might I add, than all of the full-grown ponies. They were bigger than the full-grown ponies, yet still blank flanks, and also now the new rulers of the newly formed Equestria, which led to some tensions, and also Celestia not feeling like she actually was enough to be a princess, as how could a princess be someone without a cutie mark? And this would all change one night when, if you don't know, the unicorns in Star Swirl used to be the way that the sun and moon would get lowered. The unicorns would do it with the help of Star Swirl. And one night, while trying to do this, the unicorns lose all of their magic, essentially, including Star Swirl, and the princesses wake up to a completely dark night. And I mean, there isn't even a moon in the sky. It's just dark outside, and Star Swirl tells them that they need to raise the sun and lower the moon, respectively. Despite having never taught them how to do this, he told them that it would become natural to them, as he reminded Celestia of the Tree of Harmony and how much power essentially she felt from it, and he told her that it would feel natural for her to just grasp the sun and move it. And she did. Respectively, Luna lowered the moon while Celestia raised the sun, and they gained their cutie marks, kind of cementing them more as Equestria's rulers, as they could now raise and lower the moon without it even actually taking any of their magic away. And with this, they also restored all of the unicorn's magic. Now, Celestia felt like she was more steadfast in the fact that she was a princess and felt worthy of it. Now that they were the only rulers, Celestia and her sister were faced with the brunt of Equestria's new foes, being Discord. And when they decided to use the elements of harmony to defeat Discord, Celestia actually decided to keep them inside the Canterlot Castle so they could be more readily accessible. Using this new form of, I want to call it a weapon, they rebuilt the equestrian government and made it to where she took a more central role along with her sister in major affairs as well as daily rulership alike. And this is referenced in The Return of Harmony, the episode. This would also be where the equestrian flag is changed to its most modern depiction, which features the two sisters prominently, but this wasn't, this was all to really just say that things were building up within the kingdom, and Celestia would face what she would like to say has been her biggest problem, which is, we all know, Nightmare Moon. Jealousy building within Luna reaches to a tipping point, and I will go into why there was more jealousy on Luna's video, just because I feel like that really pertains to her more. Celestia has to take care of Luna because Luna tries to throw a coup and actually murder Celestia, which I am not saying the word murder lightly. It does actually go into detail in various things about the lengths Luna was willing to go to bring eternal night, okay? I'm not using that word murder lightly. Celestia uses the elements to put Luna on the moon for 1,000 years, but this also effectively cuts her off from the elements of magic, and she talks about this in Princess Twilight Sparkle, the episode. Celestia rules alone for nearly 1,000 years, and what's crazy is no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find diddly squat on what she does during this time, except for, observe and acquire more of a godlike status amongst the common pony. We do know that sometime after Ponyville was formed, the Crystal Empire is put in danger by a dragon, and Cadance kind of appears and solves this problem. She was a Pegasus at this point in time, and Celestia, seeing Cadance's selfless act of using her love magic to save the Crystal Empire, is what prompted Celestia to turn her into an alicorn. Now, I only bring this up because I feel like it is important to Celestia's character development in a point that I will make a little bit later. Nightmare Moon returns and is defeated by Twilight and her friends, and Celestia and Luna continue to rule together for quite a while before eventually retiring and giving the kingdom over to Twilight. Now, with the timeline done, let's get into her character analysis. With analyzing her character, I want to say that there is a point to this. I believe that Celestia is a perfect god, and I know what you're thinking. That's a crazy thing to say. she's basically useless the entire series, as everybody likes to say, maybe showing up once or twice to actually help. But I'd like to argue that that is a perfect representation of what she was raised to be. She was always meant to be omnipotent. While she does interact with the problems that face Equestria, she also focuses on making ponies that can solve equestrian problems in the event that something ever happened to her or her sister. As stated in this comic, I have the actual comic right here. I don't have anything to photocopy, so I'll just include like a little snapshot here for you guys. She goes on an adventure with Spike, and in this adventure, she makes Spike solve one problem, but then the next one, she solves it, leading Spike to ask her, why don't you just solve everybody's problems? Why does Twilight have to go through all of these hardships if you could just solve them? To which she says this: as you said, Spike, I am very powerful, and there are many things I can do. And yes, sometimes I have let Twilight take care of an incident that I could have cleared away easily. But I do not do this because I am cruel or because I want to play a joke on Twilight. I do this because I am her teacher, and sometimes this is how she must learn. Deep beneath it all, Celestia wants to teach ponies to exist without her, which is ultimately what a god should do. Be there to help when it is ultimately needed, but also prosper the people. Or ponies. Now, this is what I would say a fair argument on my part about why she is perfect. She is never too involved, but she does get involved when it is actually serious. Now, this is not to say that she's without her flaws. Celestia growing up was quite snobbish, rude, and a bully to her sister, and a little bit mean to Star Swirl as well. I mean, as any character, there is a character underneath the godliness. And I think that we need to take that into our minds when we are saying Celestia is a useless character, because while yes, she is not there to contribute to the fight, so to speak, so often, it is because she wants to ensure that Equestria could take care of itself. Now, we are not saying that that Celestia could handle literally anything. No, she is not a literal god, but she is a god. She is a demigod amongst these ponies. She does not age. In anything I have found, it states that Celestia, while she ages at such a impossibly slow rate that most people theorize, and this is actually theorized upon within the comics itself between ponies, that Celestia and Luna would never die until the moon died, or the sun. But you know, I hope that like this was put together enough that my point is understandable, which is pretty much just that Celestia is not useless. She is a wonderful character and almost a perfect god, honestly. She creates a perfect society that can work for itself, but also not fear when she steps in. And, you know, with all of that being said, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I again want to apologize for the history here, or lack thereof, as I tried to pull all of the information that is out there together and make it somewhat congruent, but it was just really, really hard. So I apologize again for that. Make sure to talk to my editing pony on your way out to find out what my next video will be about, because I'm really excited to make this next video. It's not going to be as much research, it's going to be a little more fun, and it's definitely going to be maybe a little controversial, just because it is going to have a lot of my own opinions in it. But until next time, my little ponies, I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Hey every pony, it's Lavender Mint, your editing pony, and I wanted to thank you so much for watching this video and to tell you about Little Dementia's next video, which will be about My Little Pony ships. My personal favorite ship is Fluttercord. I hope you'll subscribe so you'll see it. Bye guys!